You guys feel like you're ready to sell some houses? Is it feeling more overwhelming or less overwhelming?
More, because if this is my fault, I have been lax on. I've been lax.
It's so much direct on the job training. It's hard to learn it before you're doing it, but it's scary to do it before you've learned it. So we have to find that balance, right?
Right. I have issue with technology. Cause my computer at home is just wonky
Mhm.
and I don't have any. I like to think that I can be an organized individual, but I don't feel organized as soon as I turn on my computer or open it.
So a really great thing for you to do is just don't worry about all the checklist stuff that's in command, like from Scott Ray Marketing. Because if that's overwhelming, you really just talk to people, go out and door knock, and then when you get someone that's a lead and if you need help with CMA, we'll help you. You had Bobby help you yesterday, right?
Right.
That was good. So if you, just find someone to help you with the CMA and then just have a TC that does the paperwork. And a lot of good TCs will also help you guys. They'll tell you, this is the paperwork we need and this is why I'm doing it. So they help walk you through all the paperwork. But they're also, if they're not gonna miss a step along the way.
Okay.
Like,
Now the TCs, are there TCs made available or do you just go online and look for a TC? transaction form?
so they have to be licensed. So I have one county pro, I think Jen Hashimoto is, we can ask Jen. I think Jen Hashimoto is also with Keller Williams. So if they're licensed and they hang their license with Keller Williams, then they have access to your command.
Okay.
And they can go into your command and submit the documents that way. So I have a couple names if you want them. I know, I think she said Jen was $3.99. And I know Cami, she's $3.99 and you only pay her when the transaction closes. So if you use a TC and the transaction doesn't close, you don't owe her any money.
And they're both in Keller Williams.
Jen does a lot of Keller Williams agents stuff. I don't know where she is here. We're gonna ask Jen, but Cami and her office is actually in the Keller Williams South Valley office. So she offices out of the Keller Williams office. She's an agent. She doesn't work as an agent, but she's licensed agent with Keller Williams.
I just want to say bye.
Bye. Thank you. We'll see you. And I'll keep you updated. If they've been few and far between, just the beginning of July, I think it was slow with July. And then the 24th breaks.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you.
See
Okay.
ya.
And online, do you guys feel ready to? I mean, we've gone through a lot in.
I can jump
Ignite.
out there and see, door knocking. I door knocked for an open house. And that was cool, the day before the open house. And that was cool. I talked to people. I said, here, this is what's happening. Come on down. And there was only one person that came down from the neighborhood.
Perfect.
And well, I knocked on the door and an old man answered the door and we talked. He said, well, my son is looking for. And I think that the dad was looking to set the son up kind of situation.
Like set him up with you. Oh, not with the house.
Well, because yeah, I got that impression. Because the son came, he was an older man. And it was just him, and it was a big house. And why would your father, or maybe his dad just wanted him near him.
Right.
Too, so. And
I've never door knocked that kind of one house. You know,
yes, it's just something that you gotta get out there and do.
well, I need to know what to say.
So you just find a purpose to door knock. So if you could door knock for an open house and you could just say, hey, I'm having an open house. I'd like to invite you. When do you plan on moving? Anything like that. And then, or if you're just like, I've done it for just sold, hey, we just sold a home in your neighborhood. We got $5,000 more than asking price in 3 days. That I know a lot of people in the neighborhood want to sell too. So that's some ways to have conversations door knocking. for sure. And then in Conversation Mastery this week, we've been working on talking with renters. So, and people that need to buy, maybe they're just like buyers in general. And you can meet those people door knocking, or if they come into your open house, or if somebody refers you someone to buy, just how to overcome, like how to just start that conversation. Hey, I know you've been renting, have you thought about buying? And then they'll say yes or no, and then we'll talk about some benefits of home buying. Like you're fixing your housing costs, building wealth, just different things why buying a home, even in today's market, would be a good idea for them.
My kids were camping this weekend and I didn't, my son, because it's just literal. Anyway, so I ran into one of my friends up there and I told her that I just got my license, you know. And she goes, well, I'm gonna have to sell my mom's house pretty soon because her boyfriend's got ready to kick, you know.
Gosh,
And that's what she said.
another
That's
dead
what it
person
was.
in your phone, Bonnie.
And I go, well, she goes, but I don't know if I'm just gonna do sell by owner or get an agent. I go, well, I'm an agent. I go, and I really think you really should get an agent because you get on the list. And you don't really have to worry about it. We take care of it,
Mhm.
you know. So in fact, I'm going camping with her. I'm going up there to camp.
Tell her if she doesn't sign a contract with you, I'll make it.
Well, guys gotta pay for it. Dad, it's
Well,
her mom's
argument.
her mom's boyfriend, because her mom already passed. And he's allowed to live there until he dies.
Right.
And there's some kind of trust, she said, but the bank wasn't doing their part or something, I don't know,
Oh, okay,
that kind of situation.
yeah,
I definitely need a
a TC,
TA,
yeah.
a TC.
Mhm. Yeah, is Jen licensed and hang her license with Keller Williams? So yeah, so she can get into your other work too. Oh, yeah, she can work her license too. So perfect. Perfect. Okay, do you guys feel ready? So you're feeling ready to get out there and make some money?
Yeah,
Yeah, I need to feel ready.
I don't need to, but I need to.
Right, right. So when you guys are making the money, you want to make sure that you're able to protect it first.
I was talking to an agent from a different company, a friend of mine, who said that even though it is a business that we are in, he was not spending his money that way. Because when he get the money, he just go and spend it, rather than investing it and placing it where it needed to be placed.
You're gonna watch what happens when you do that. Because you get in a situation.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we're gonna plan our future. So we're gonna lead generate. We're gonna follow up with leads. We're gonna get a transaction. And we're gonna make some money. Right? And so you guys all have goals, like why did you guys get into real estate, right? Everybody has their why they got into real estate. Do you guys know, or online, you guys can type it in the chat. Anybody want to share their goal? Why they did it?
Why did I get into realty? Because my kids, all my kids graduated. And I don't have to work, but I do have to work, just like I need, but I don't need. And I knew people that did this, and it seemed like something that I would like to do because I wanted to go to school to be first of all, juvenile probation officer, because I was a juvenile and I experienced my probation officer, and he was amazing. He was my second father. And then I was gonna be a social worker because I like people. I like dealing with problems.
So what made you decide about real estate?
The fact that it's a people person thing. And those people sometimes have issues and they need to talk, and I can listen.
What about you? Why did you choose real estate?
I've always had it, it's always been a passion.
Mhm.
I've always wanted to do it, but life just got a hold of me and I was busy raising kids. I was a single mother, so I had to take what I could get, you know,
Right.
raising my kids, and now they're old, now I've been done raising the grandkids, kind of. But I just want to do it, it's just, I really want it. So it's the only thing that's stopping.
It's just something like inside you was like,
Yeah.
real estate is it?
Yeah.
I love it. Do you want to share why you got into real estate?
So my background is technology stuff. I work for a Hewlett Packard. Treasury manager of 5 state and territory. When you're in corporate world, when they're trying to change out the CEO, you trim the fat. When you're making a lot of money with bills, they want to trim you. So I was making my bonuses and my bill readers, so I was making like 400,000 a year. They're like, you gotta go.
Which feels like it should be the opposite, right? Because she's
Yeah.
also making the company money.
She's
Right.
productive.
It's like that. I'm a high dollar producer, they want to get rid of you. So they started trimming out the jobs, and I'm like, you know what? 'Cause I got my salary for 3 years for my. What is it?
You're, I know,
Policy.
yeah, what do you guys? I'm not get starts with an S. Like
Severance
severance,
package.
okay?
I got my full, I didn't get my salary and all that, stuff, but I just got my salary for 3 years, and I'm like, this is a great opportunity for me to transition into real estate. And it worked out great, but then I still get paid. But it gave me opportunities that I don't have, I didn't have the best feeling, I didn't have that, no one made this much money, so. That's why I did it, because I didn't want the best feeling, I was ready to go. My position was business development. And so basically I took the partners that were selling HP out to concerts, baseball games, soccer, like whatever they wanted to do, we did. Like that year, so my last year with HP, we went to probably 10 Cubbies games in Chicago. Well, that's nearly one. It was 2016.
So how long have you been doing this?
This is my business.
Okay, and you came to Keller Williams
From the beginning.
I did talk to another company and started to go that direction, and then I didn't. I thought. I'm really
We're glad to. We're glad to have her here. And Wes said people are making their dreams come true. It's the biggest purchase they will ever make in their lives. And that's why he transitioned to real estate. To do that, I got into real estate. I've always been a little saleswoman, like always. From when I was a kid, like I sold this fake glue to the neighbor kids, like I made my brother be my little assistant. I'm not even kidding, like we would sell wagon rides around our cul-de-sac and I would make my brother pull the wagon, like it's just been in my blood, I'm not even kidding. From when I was a kid, my poor little brother. But he did buy a house with me, so.
But he's not your assistant.
Not, well, sometimes, not anymore, but but then I always sold little stuff like that. I sold Avon for a long time and I would win all those awards. Yep, I we talked about that. Yeah, I won the Rookie of the Year award. I just kept winning these awards ever since my first year selling it. And then I loved being a server because I liked feeling in control of my income. And so when we moved here from Vernal in 2015 to Davis County, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be in a bigger town. I want to make a life change. So when my husband we were moving because of a job change, and so I was like, I'm gonna do real estate because why not sell something I can make bigger commissions? It's something I get. And I need the people, very similar to you. I need the community. I'm a people person. I need my alone time just like everybody does, but I need people just as much. So that's, so I think we all have our reasons we got into real estate. And the potential for money is a huge reason we pick real estate, I think, in addition to the potential to help people in a massive transaction. But what if we make all this money and we can't keep it? What if? Yeah, so we want to make sure we have a smart business. So how you think matters and how you think in the beginning really matters. So do you guys really believe you could make a lot of money and help a lot of people? We're in the relationship business ultimately, right? So you can help a lot of people, like Zig Ziglar said, if you help enough people get what they want, you're gonna get what you want. So if we help enough people in real estate, then we're gonna make a lot of money. So do you guys believe you can make a lot of money and help a lot of people in real estate?
I think that's part of what all these people that have been in the business for 20 years and what they're doing, and then you like start thinking down on yourself. You have to like, stop. Maybe not 20 years, we got 20 years experience,
Right.
and we got a 20-year portfolio, so just like.
Well, and I
the
think
hard
that
way.
happens, I think that happens a lot, because new agents were like, you gotta be outdoor knocking, you gotta be making phone calls, you gotta be holding open houses, and they're like, well, why aren't all these other successful agents doing that?
Right.
And you know why? It's because they did that in the beginning, and so it's not a forever situation, you just have to build your portfolio
Mhm.
and your database, and then you'll have a sustainable business that will.
If you are certain communities, I have a title person who sent me several couple farming areas. Just because I have those farming areas, that doesn't mean there is not other agents working within that
True.
area, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like nobody,
We don't own
If-
territory in real
yeah.
estate. Some agents think they do,
yeah.
you know.
I'm gonna say.
Okay, well, thanks, Jen. I'm glad you did the last class.
And it was really helpful.
Next week,
Appreciate it.
Saturday,
Okay,
And-
yeah, just text me,
but
but those pictures.
yeah, the pictures definitely. The best, is there a best time for an open
appreciate it.
house?
Anytime you need help, I mean,
Sean believes there's a best time for an open house. He believes it's Saturday between 11 and 1.
Huh,
well, and I can tell you what I've experienced, I don't like doing open houses on holidays.
No, yeah, holiday weekends are never good. Well, not never, but usually.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Sean's the broker. Yeah.
but my open houses have been early morning. And
I didn't think they were.
early afternoon, and I'm not having, even with the door knocking. I didn't
Well,
have,
and we can set up the open house times too, so we'll talk about it.
okay, all right.
Okay.
See ya.
See you guys, thanks
Thank
for
you.
letting me.
Yeah, and in
Thank you,
coaching, we're
Jen.
gonna do
Thanks
the
for
open house
doing it.
certification too, that will show, like, you need to make sure you have your open house signs like before the weekend, because they get checked out from here so fast.
Right, right.
And, just different.
I want to order my own,
You can,
okay?
you just have to have, well, actually, I
Keller
don't think you have to
Williams.
have anything.
They have Keller Williams someplace on.
If it has your name on it.
Well, we
Yeah.
can check them out through Wasatch, right?
I think you buy them through
You buy
Wasatch
them
Board of
through them?
Realtors.
Yeah, there you go.
But you can order them from anywhere online.
Right, right, and specialize them. I can specialize. Okay, I've told you, have I given you the two ideas that I've had? Here comes the sun.
Oh, yeah.
And potential ellipses.
We say that.
Potential ellipses,
Don't know what
Was it
ellipses
lip
is.
season?
3 periods after the word, which means that there's a continuation. So
Okay.
therefore, potential what?
Mm.
Yeah, that's,
Now,
I got a gimmick. That's a good thing.
is that a title or is that
That sounds more like a tagline to me,
okay,
if you, because I would be confused what you were. I think if you're building it as a real estate business, make sure the logo or something has something real estate related in it for people
okay.
to realize it's real estate.
What I was thinking is, here comes the sun, real estate with Gidget, or potential ellipses, real estate with Gidget.
Oh, yeah, you can do either one. I like the Here Comes the Sun, my personal opinion. I
Because
don't know.
everybody likes sun. That gets
Yeah.
your attention.
And Beatles. everybody
Plus
likes
it's got
Beatles.
yellow, if you have yellow sun, which is kind of a.
No, I would have a sunflower.
Oh,
Yeah.
still gets.
So our mindset matters. So it's hard in real estate. To make sure that sometimes we get too scared to talk to people because we think we don't know enough. But really, you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna find out, even if, so your mindset just has to be, I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out as soon as I know what you need help with. But we can't figure it out until we know what the clients needs help with. So we can think we can know every transaction or everything about this business, and it's impossible. It's on the job training. Because we just don't know, and it's always on the job training, no matter how long you've been in the business. You're both finding out new stuff. So we want to make sure our mindset is good and we're ready to get out there and take action to have a successful day. Staying aligned with our heart.
my mind is not there on the daily yet. I'm not a 9 to 5 yet. I'm trying to figure things out and
I don't think you have to be a 9 to 5. I think you can find out what hours work. I think set aside 2 hours a day to go out and prospect for people or prospect for leads. So you can do that by calling your SOI, you can do that by door knocking for open houses. Whatever 2 hours in the day works for you. There's a lot of agents, here at Keller Williams have 2 careers, so they only do real estate on the nights and weekends.
Mhm.
Because they have jobs during
yeah,
the rest of the day, so you don't have to be a 9 to 5. You can be, I have my friend Lisa that sells real estate, she actually doesn't work before noon but she works until midnight.
Mhm.
Like, that's just her
Yeah.
rhythm she's got. She's super successful.
I've been seeing something online, it's keeping.
Yeah, matters current,
Yeah.
keeping current matters.
Yeah. And one of the things that I read is that you ought to be practicing this as a business, a 9 to 5. You know, and technically maybe. Yeah, practice the 9 to 5 just to keep the mindset on business.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I do better having business hours.
Mhm.
Because then otherwise I'll take my work home with me and then, so there's lots of times I just have to leave my computer and stuff here, because
Mm.
otherwise my husband.
Yeah, you know, when my phone got ran over last weekend, I'm thinking that I'm gonna leave my phone here. I'm serious, but without the phone, I can basically do nothing on the
Right.
computer.
Right.
So, okay.
Yeah, so our belief system is the YA4C2Ts, which is that when we kind of went over this earlier tonight, the win-win or no deal, integrity to do the right thing always. Customers always come first, commitment in all things, communication, we're seeking first to understand. You came to the communication class yesterday with Louis?
Yeah.
And that's really what his whole,
Right, and I
a lot of
wanted,
it was seeking first to understand, not to understand to judge them, not to understand to react, just to understand them.
have you read that book that he,
Crucial conversations.
you've read it?
Mhm.
Good?
Yeah. it's
Is it
really
an easy read?
good. I feel like I feel like no, but yes.
Okay, is
It's
it,
an easy read, but if you're trying to read it and implement it, it's just like the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Like, it's
Okay.
easy read, but to read and implement takes time. It's not a one read to read and implement. But it's a really good book. And creativity, ideas before results, teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty, so you've got to be honest with yourself. So we kind of talked a little bit about dirty yeses in coaching. So you got to be honest with yourself, because be honest with everybody, but including yourself. So don't put in your calendar that you're going to do something you're not going to do. So if you put 2 hours of lead generation time in your calendar and you're not going to lead gen during that time, we got to figure out what's holding you back from lead generating.
okay, my mind in regard to that and going around the neighborhood. I'm thinking I need door hangers. I got my cards. Before I got my cards, I'm thinking, I gotta have my cards before I do anything,
That's how I feel.
okay? And I got the cards and I didn't do anything.
Right.
So now I'm gotta have door hangers to go around the neighborhood. And then I'm thinking maybe just flyers, just take a flyer out. I can print flyers.
You know what? You need to go around the neighborhood. You just need to knock on the door. Say, hi, I'm Gidget. And I sell real estate. Do you have any real estate needs I can help you with? And you'll get leads like that, because then you're just having conversations and creating relationships with people. It's not about handing them anything.
Really?
Sean door knocks with nothing. No flyer, no nothing.
Okay.
One other thing is, okay, I don't have access to the super yet.
You're
until I
getting
take
that
the
next week.
orientation.
Yeah.
on the 18th, yeah. So I really can't do much right now either, right?
Well, you
Because
can.
we
the
wanna
door
look at a
knocking.
house.
You can, we can door knock. If they want to see a house and you
Yeah.
don't have super access yet, we can have someone meet you there to open the door, and the listing agent can, or
Oh, okay,
if somebody really wants to see a house.
yeah,
Right then, the chances are if you get a lead, it's gonna take some time to convert them. So and you've got a week until you get your super access. So you could go door knocking.
all right.
for sure
Thank
right
you
now.
for the information that I don't need anything. And you're right, I wasn't, my mindset wasn't there.
Right, right. It's all about having conversations with people and so just try to have the 10 conversations a day, whether that's in the grocery store. And not with other agents in the office, right? You've got to be having 10 conversations a day. Just about real estate. I can't remember who said this in Ignite. Feel like it might have been Fabian. But where it just builds your confidence, just talking, and I think he talked about passing out cards, right? And nothing ever came from the cards. Do you guys remember? I think he said he passed out 10 cards a day and nothing ever came from it, but he
Was
gave
it Fabian who said he would give them to the checkers at the
or
grocery store?
something. I can't remember if it was him or not, but someone did that. But that really just builds that confidence about talking about real estate, and you don't need the cards to do that. You just need to have the conversations
Mhm.
too. And then if you come across the lead, we'll help you. We'll just help you. So, but trust starts with honesty. Equity is opportunities for all, and success. We want results through helping people. That's what's important to us. For sure. So do you guys remember, Dalton came in and taught the value proposition class, where we learned about where we tried to discover what makes us valuable as a real estate agent. After going through this Ignite and seeing how much on the job training it is and how much just extra work it is in addition to the 120 hours of school, do you guys feel like you're valuable in the real estate world?
Not yet.
Why don't you feel you're valuable yet?
I don't feel like I know them. You know, like when I was talking to the girl up at the camping, all I could really get out was, hey, you know, you get it on the list and then we take care of it for you. You know, you don't have to worry about it. It'll get sold a lot faster if you have an agent.
And what about having somebody trained in the contracts?
Yeah,
Can't that be important? Because you could get in trouble legally by not having someone trained. And even if you're not confident in the contracts, we're gonna help, just ask for help. We're gonna help you through the contracts
yeah, get a
too.
TC.
Get a TC or ask any of the brokers or me or even other agents are willing to help you. So, but really, what's she gonna do? What's she gonna do? And what are the market trends? She's not gonna know those, and you may feel like you don't know those yet either. But she's not gonna know what's happening and what types of loan programs
So
there
I
are.
don't even know what neighborhood the house is yet, but I'm going camping with her and I will get that information.
Right, and they just let me run some rough numbers on the house, just so you kind of know where it's at. And then we can practice a CMA on that house, just different things like that. And then. So you are valuable. And is there a way you guys could share your value with your contacts? Do you know, like? We talked about, we're trained and educated in the contracts. We're gonna protect them legally. We have, you said the list, which is basically marketing and exposure. We can provide that they can't provide. My network of agents and vendors and colleagues is an asset. That's in my tool belt as a value that I bring is if you need a roofer called in, because the buyer wants the roof replaced, I'm also gonna call a roofer in and see if it's just that roofer trying to make a sell for us to give you more money off, or if it could just be a repair, or if it's really, we're gonna get our own estimate too by using my vendors. And there's other. So there's a lot of value that we bring, such as our vendor list, our knowledge, our networking with other agents, our marketing exposure, our ability to negotiate a contract. So somebody could come to a for sale by owner. Well, I did this as an agent. I took buyers to a for sale by owner house and they made an offer on the house. And the for sale by owner, he had listed it lower than it was worth, but he really thought that's what it was worth. And our appraisal came in $75,000 higher than he was asking, and we offered him asking price. And if he was not a for sale by owner, right? An agent would have probably not priced it $75,000 too low, but if an agent accidentally priced a house $75,000 too low, they were gonna have massive multiple offers. Like substantial, because it was like a $700,000 house. So there's gonna be massive multiple offers just by that marketing and exposure that we can give. So by for sale by owning, he lost over 10% of his home value. And he still had to pay me 3%.
Wow.
Like
The,
he could have
uh,
made way more money by hiring an agent.
right.
So having just horror stories, and you guys can use that horror story
And
with your
did he-
people. This happens
Was
to
he
me for my.
willing, was
I
he
know
willing to
this is a
pay
sale.
you?
By owner, right?
Yeah, it's 300%.
Huh.
Most for sale by owners will pay you, you have the conversation with them. If your buyers have the conversation with them, they try to act like they won't pay you.
Uh-huh.
But we have, that's something else, is where's she marketing to? Where is it for sale by owner marketing to? Are they putting it on Facebook and KSL?
Not yet. remember,
No,
'cause-
right, but let's pretend like somebody is. Where do for
Yeah.
sale by owners market? So guess who looks at those websites for sale by owners? People looking for a deal. Agents really don't.
Oh, really?
Very few agents do. A lot of agents just look on the MLS. The amount of agents that look for sale by owner is few and far between.
So if you see a house that's a for sale by owner, can you knock on their door, talk to them?
Yep,
Because
and
I
try to get
know
them to
when-
list with you. Yeah, and try to get them to tell them why they should list with you. That you're gonna market and expose their house, you're gonna negotiate for them to net them the most money, and you're gonna protect them legally. You're gonna bulletproof the transaction. We've learned we're gonna protect that. We know when those fallout dates are.
So what I would do first is maybe do CMAs around the neighborhood and go with that information. So that I can.
I
tell
wouldn't, I would just knock on the door and say, cause then you could just say, well, if we can agree on price, if it's gonna make sense, would you list with me? And then they could say, yeah, or you can create a whole listing packet with the CMAs and take that to him.
Yeah.
Okay, but you don't need to CMA the whole neighborhood, just his house.
Yeah.
From the neighborhood,
All right, cool.
yeah. So I think we bring, and like Jen was saying, when there's a for sale by owner and like a buyer that's unrepresented, and they come in and they talk to each other, and then they say something that offends the other person, and then they both blow up and get mad, and it turns into this messy transaction. We're the buffer between that. So my buyer is gonna come yell at me, and I'm gonna just take the information calmly, professionally to the other agent. And then the other agent can take it to their, so I'm that buffer between that emotional, which is huge value that we
So we
bring.
bring professionals
Mhm.
and experience, because I don't.
You have a whole team behind you with experience that you do. Definitely do. And then, so we're gonna revisit our
Big lie.
our big life, our vision, our future. So in session 1 of Ignite, we kind of looked a little bit about a big life. So I mean, is there anything, did you guys fill that out in your first part of Ignite in your session 1? Or do you think you guys have changed in what you want in your big life from this session to the next?
I would not have really considered what my big life was going to be, but now I've had time. And I don't want to change that much. But I want to improve my house.
Ooh.
I'm good with the house that I'm in, it's fine. I don't feel like moving, I don't need to move, but I do want to upgrade the house itself.
That you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to fix mine.
Oh, and yep, you guys want. So we want to make money to fix our houses up, right? But we also want to help people, that's too. So one thing that all high achievers have in common is they're working for a big why. The big why is about having a purpose, a mission, or a need that in turn gives you focus. So my, we're gonna go over. My big why is that, I want to help people. This does not have to be anybody else's big why. But one thing that I really thrive on is helping people achieve their goals through real estate. And that's whether it's buying or selling with me or running the productivity coaching and helping other agents reach their goals through real estate. So that, I mean, that's not, I guess that's not my big why, that's a passion. So my big why would be about my kid. I mean, it would just come down to my kids. I want and we heard a lot of people say that in the first Ignite, right? They want to do this for their kids and. So, and that's where I'm at too, like I do fund my daughter's college. I have a daughter that goes to the U for dental school and I don't want her to come out with student loans, so I'm funding her college tuition with the money I make. That's important to me. I have 2 grandkids, like it's important for me, I want to fund their college if they want to go to college, so just, those are some of my whys. So big, because we're after extraordinary results, and why it's the reason you get up every day and do what you do. I know a couple, agents that their big whys are not even about them. I think Kelly Benson Housing, it's for homeless housing in Salt Lake. That, it's transitional housing from being homeless into be able to get into housing to get a job. And then there's a bunch of homeless housing like that in Salt Lake. One of
Is
my
that
friends,
fairly new?
Kelly Benson's a couple years, well, no, it's probably 10 years old, really, the apartments, but, and they're getting more and more all the time. Kelly Benson is specifically for disabled homeless. But I have, and I've invested in that, or not invested, donated to that. But there are programs like that, but there's some people out there that sell real estate in order to be able to donate big to nonprofits like that. So you can pick a big nonprofit if that's what drives you. I know people that will build a bed, they have a build a bed program, so they build a bed for kids without beds. Every closing, they donate 2 beds. Or the money for 2 beds, so whatever your big why is, I watched one of my friends, Martha, she started, I cannot remember the name of, Passionate Wings, which is for domestic violence. That was always her big why, was to start a thing that would help women with business attire coming out of domestic violence situations, and she started that, and now she has a whole shop with clothes in Salt Lake. So, and now her kids are following in her footsteps and creating baby Passionate Wings for baby clothes. So there's big whys that can be internal, but whatever your why is, it's got to be personal to you. A big why will power a big life. Once you figure out your why, then it really, you get up every morning and you think, I have to prospect or lead generate. I have to call these people. I have to help these people. And one thing I think all the time is I have to protect them from bad agents. Because there's a lot of, I know a lot of people that get into real estate because they, their real estate transaction was so bad. And they said, that's one of the reasons happened to you.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so there's, I think all the time, I've got to protect them. I've got to call them, because if I don't, an agent that doesn't care about them will.
My agent even told me I didn't need to get an inspection. And he wasn't there at the closing. I mean, what I learned in school when I recently went was they're supposed to be there, or somebody's supposed to, from our brokerage. To represent them, that's what I heard.
And I've heard that, I don't know if that's like a law or a rule, because I've heard that both
Just a
ways.
fiduciary.
What was that?
I think it was just a fiduciary.
A fiduciary duty? Yeah, there's some,
no.
because they say that someone should represent them,
Mhm.
someone should be there to represent them, but it's not enforced,
Yeah.
which is, but that's one good reason to go to closing. I've gone to closing and the paperwork's been wrong. So get the things that are closing.
We were just left on the phone with everything was done on the phone. And neither one of us had, technical skills.
Right, because of COVID though, right?
No,
So
right before COVID.
way before
Couple
Okay,
years.
okay. So we have 6 core competencies to run our real estate business like a business. We want to lead generate, capture leads, and convert those leads to appointments. So on the appointments, we're going to do presentations to buyers and sellers to get their agreement. We're going to show buyers homes and market sellers homes, write and negotiate contracts, coordinating the sell, and manage the money.
Do you solidify the contract with a signature before you show?
What contract?
The right to buy?
The buyer broker.
Yeah.
I have a buyer broker signed before I show.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Since we're new though, wouldn't it be a kind of a good idea? Like, I heard somebody say to practice showing houses.
Yep, you can practice showing houses. Actually, tomorrow, Sean is, and Rusty's actually doing the inspiration tomorrow. And Sean is hosting the North Board Tour. So it meets at Impact or Youth Impact in Ogden. And I think they meet at 8 AM. I can get you guys the information if you want to go. And then you go there and they have a list of homes and you can go tour all those homes tomorrow morning.
Oh,
So it's like for me.
it
And
happens also.
it happens every Thursday.
Yeah.
Yep, this is the same one, every Thursday. Sean's just hosting it tomorrow and Rusty's doing the inspiration. For our brokerage. So, I mean, it's a youth impact and often. Okay, so once you get a commission, where does your commission dollar go? So half right off the bat goes to the other agent, right? We're gonna, so we don't bake all of the commission that's paid. So right away, half of our dollar is gone. And then we give some to the market center. We have business expenses and we have taxes. So of the whole dollar, our take home pay is a little tiny chunk of that. So when people think agents make $30,000, really we don't. Because look at all the people that take our money. And then there's all those people that market to us and
The
that
market center means your cap.
means here, yep, to your cap, yeah. Means here. So we get to take home a little bit of that dollar, so we've got to be responsible with the dollar that we take home. Because, so let's look at, oh wait, I think you saw, oh, Jessica Campbell, I was like, what, I think 7-8. So Jessica sells a house for $9,000 over here, or she gets $9,000 in commission. Then she pays herself after her splits, yep, she gets 5,760. So she puts 5,760 into her personal bank account, and then that's just her spending money now. She didn't save anything for business expenses or taxes. But so that's financially unsound. So to be financially sound, if she sells, she gets $9,000 commission. She actually gets a check from the brokerage for 5,760. She puts 1,728 into her bank account for business expenses. And then in her personal bank account, she puts the remaining 4,032. And then she puts 1,600 into her tax savings account, which is 996 to state and 617 to self-employment. And that leaves her with $2,419 left to do things with. So that way she now has money in her business bank account. Do you guys know what you need that money for? Do you guys know what business expenses you might have?
Advertising,
Fees, yeah,
the,
the MLS, yeah. Amy,
which is every year, which is $405 a year.
That's our monthly that we have here and.
Yeah.
The real estate.
yeah. And the division.
And the licensing is every 2 years.
And the licensing is every 2 years, yeah, so we need money in our business bank account for that. You're gonna pay for certain things like a photographer when you get a listing, you're gonna need to buy signs, and if you need business cards or door knocking flyers, you're gonna need that, all of those things, so.
So that what percentage is that of?
So Gary Keller in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, he teaches us we should be doing 30% to business expenses and I think 30% to cost of sales. And then he takes the taxes out of the business expenses, I believe. So money is good for the good it can do. So it's not a bad thing to make money. So the flow of money, our income is what comes in, our expenses is what goes out, and our profit is what's left. So when we set goals at Keller Williams, we want to help you net the profit. So what money do you want to take home? We want to go off that goal, and then we add the expenses in, and then that's how we know how many transactions you should be working towards doing in order to bring that income. Do you guys know what your income goals are?
Is this monthly? Is it yearly?
Yearly,
Mine's like 100,000.
you know what you want, yeah. And you don't have to share if you don't want to, but if you know, just know what your profit goal is, so we can calculate your goals from there. And so, then profit, so this is what I just said, we pick your profit goal, and then we want to, how many homes you're gonna have to sell, how can you minimize expenses with that? I feel like, this brokerage has honestly the most bang for your buck. It's not the only brokerage I've ever been at. And I was paying more at another brokerage for less, and you can pay less at other brokerages for less, but then you get less. So it's tricky. But we want to help you guys minimize your expenses to maximize your net income. We don't want you to be spending everything you make on expenses. So we have two types of expenses, a cost of sale. So cost of sale expenses are related to each transaction. Like commissions paid to the market center, because you only pay those when a closing sells. You do have your tech fee that's monthly that you pay whether you close a sale or not, so that would be an operating expense. So cost of sale is only paid when a transaction closes. So that would be like a TC fee, any referral fees. If you have to pay any commission splits or referral fees, are some cost of sale fees. Operating expenses are rent, if you were renting an office, your auto expenses, if you have salaries for any staff, your, they have your transaction coordinator on their operating expenses, because if you're gonna pay the transaction coordinator, whether the deal closes or not, is why, but if you're only paying for it closing, then it's a cost of sale. If you have specialists, buyer and listing specialists, your insurance, your professional services, your marketing and advertising, your equipment and supplies, and your education, because you're gonna pay for those things whether you sell a house or not. So we've got to sell a house in order to afford these, but each time we sell a house, there's also its own expenses. So some best practices, we want to gain clarity on our big why, set personal and business budgets. And I know, I think on Tuesday, team meeting from, what time is team meeting, 11:30 to 1, is, Rusty's doing the halfway hustle, which is where we're gonna come in and reset our goals together. So that would be a really good class to,
on Tuesday.
here, yeah, to come to.
At what time?
It's from 11:30 to 1. And then open additional bank accounts. So do you guys have business bank accounts? You want those business bank accounts set up?
Mine's not called a business bank account yet, I have that.
You have a separate bank account, that's fine. And then you want to have a tax savings account. You want to have your business account, your bank account that you're running your business expenses out of.
What's MREA?
So that stands for Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And there's a chart of accounts in the book that tells you, it's like a profit and loss. So purchase and download tax accounting software so that you can keep track of your things. If you guys want, I have a Google spreadsheet I can share with you for a profit and loss. I personally use QuickBooks because it tracks my mileage from my phone. It connects to my bank account. I pay a couple $100 a year for that. I don't know what I pay. But and then I just send all that to my accountant. And so you can hire an accountant, a CPA, attorney, and a tax advisor. You don't need to go out and hire all these people right now, but you're gonna want these people to refer in your vendor list anyway. So who do you have an accountant? If you do, would you send your people to him? Do you have it? You do want, and I don't want to file my own taxes as a business owner. So you have that set dates to calculate and pay your estimated taxes. If you have an accountant or a CPA, they're likely going to do that for you. So you can pay your taxes quarterly, because if you get that check at the end of the year, or that bill at the end of the year, when you owe $10,000 like I did, it hurts way more than paying it quarterly. So set dates are, prepare for your future. So do you have insurance, savings, any investments you're doing? So this think and act the wage you want before you earn it. Average is as average does, good is as good does, and great is as great does. What you do is who you will become. This is fun for me because I think of it almost like visualizing. I'm going to be who I'm going to be to create the life I want. And so I'm going to be that person right now. So if that's the life I want, that's how I'm going to act. So our profit and net, I'm trying to go fast just because we're so much over time. It's okay. So net, you're going to have your net income goal, then your company dollar and royalty cap, which 15% GCI, which is 30% here. I don't know why it says that. I'm trying to like figure out why it says that 35% of your GCI is your business expenses. Then you need to add the three together, so your income plus what you're gonna pay to the company. Plus your business expenses to equal D, which is how much money you need to make. And then your average commission.
Is that in here?
Yeah.
So I,
Yeah.
What did I pay?
So let me go, we could just do the math really fast. So if you wanted to make $100,000. Just because that's what Bonnie said that was a good number for her. And you're gonna pay, at $100,000, you're gonna pay $18,000 to the company about, it's actually a little bit less than that. So we're gonna pay that, and then we're gonna have 35% business expenses, so 35,000 in business. So now we need to add these three together, so we're at 135, 45, 53, so we need, so Bonnie really needs to make 153,000 in GCI to make 100,000 profit. So does this make sense? You guys are following? So if she was gonna make 153,000 GCI and her average commission, so right now I think we're at like 9 for the office, 9,000 for buy side and 12 for sell side. So if you divide, so let's just count it for 10,000 per house you sell. So if we divide this by 10,000, then you need to
Are
sell.
you finally leaving?
50.3 homes
I know.
in a year. That sounds doable, right?
Yeah.
It does. I mean, that's really doable. So, that's what your goal is. So now, and some people in coaching have done this. So now to sell 15 homes
Hi,
in a
cutie.
year, how many appointments do you need to go on?
I don't know. I won't know for a couple months.
So I would
So-
say right now, you should probably go on
Good.
5
I'm on the Zoom
appointments.
call,
Oh.
trying to
Or
get through
4
it.
or 5 to get one. So if we times this by
Oh my
5.
gosh.
We're kind of gonna take it a little step further than this thing is. So if we. 15 times 5. So she needs to go on 75 appointments. And if we count 50 weeks in a year. So she needs to go on 1.5 appointments a week.
That is,
Right.
Describe appointments.
So I consider appointments my first time meeting with a buyer or a seller to discover if they're gonna list or buy a home with me, and I'm gonna try to influence them to use me because I'm the best realtor for the job, and you're the best realtor for the job.
And we should have our presentation ready, like
Yeah.
a buyer and sell or seller presentation ready before we.
Yeah, so how I run mine, so I have some generic ones I can give you that I've just made in command. That aren't branded to anybody at
Yeah,
all.
that can be made in command.
You can make them in command, yeah, and, or if you don't, if it's not worth it for you to make it in command, it's not worth your time, right, to sit and learn command, we've talked about. Technology, if it's not working, I have some blank ones I can give you.
Okay.
I can email to you, I always have 5 or 6 printed up at the same time, I do them, print them. Make them how I'm gonna do them at the same time, so that I can go, if I'm gonna go on a listing appointment, I don't have to be frazzled about getting my packet ready.
Right.
And then, I just have to worry about pulling comps. So to go on 1.5 appointments a week. Right now, the average, I think it actually went up a little bit. So I think it's about 75 people. You talk to 75 people, you'll set one appointment. So you should try, if you can, to talk to 100 people a week. To get 1.5 appointments. So that's 20 people a day. Do you feel like you could talk to 20 people a day? Anywhere, grocery store, door knock, open houses, you could host, we had Susan come in today, she's gonna host some first time homebuyer events. She'll host them and you can invite all your people, so it's not an agent hosting it, Susan's a lender. So you can have, anything like that, so you've already done an appointment because your ex-husband, so you've already got a lead, have you done any other appointments?
No.
Okay, and so that counts for one of your 75 appointments. So you just have 74 more to go. You can do it. You can do it. Really, 1.5 appointments a week though, so
Yeah.
just I like people to set their goals, like you've got to figure out how to get on these appointments with new buyers and sellers. While you're servicing the buyers and sellers in. So if your goal is $100,000. You're probably very similar to, the truth is, I think if you talk to 20 people a day, you'll make more than that. But have 20 people a day be your minimum standard, yeah. And wherever you can talk to them at, it's so good. So then we're gonna get paid at close, we go through, when you get one under contract, we have a small group training we do for everybody that has things under contract for the month on how to get paid. So you'll be invited to that training when you have those. Do you guys feel any ahas? Or online, any? Online. Do you feel like this feels more doable to make that amount of money? But the real thing you've got to do is lead generate, and then we can figure out the rest. If technology is too hard, we have ways around that. Don't get stuck in the weeds
So
there.
door knocking. I'm thinking, I have a big dog, I have an Airedale, and we walk the neighborhood. Can't do it so much now, because it's freaking hot.
So hot.
Yeah. It kills him, so I don't even have to ask this question, I was gonna say. When it's cooler and we do start walking more. Then. How do you think that would go over if somebody is knocking at the door with a big dog? Should I?
You could make your dog a little like bandana or whatever that says mommy's realtor helper. Like you could totally do something like that, and I don't think it would be a big
Okay.
deal.
It's just a cute little, I don't get him every day, but I go in the morning or.
Yeah. Yeah, and talk to people on your dog walks, those will count towards your 20. And then this is, if you guys do these things, so if we're having 10 conversations a day, and we said for Bonnie's goal, she needs 20, but 10 conversations a day, add 10 people, those conversations you have a day, add them to command. That's gonna build your command database. If you can get to the 201, then in coaching, there's a reward when you get to the 201 people in your database and have them tagged and on smart plan. But also the real thing in 201 is when you're using command and leveraging command to talk to your people, the 201, and I can help you with that, Kylie can help you with that, set that up. Or if you can set up on your own, then that's really when it's like 100, in our office, it was like 187, I think, $1,000, or I can't remember the number, but they make more money than people with 200 in their database by far. So try to build your database up, and those are people you're gonna have relationships with. So we're in the relationship business. We're out there trying to create relationships with people. I'm doing it whether they're gonna use me or not. I'm just gonna have, because I never know what could come from it, and I like people. And we all said that's one of the reasons we got into real estate, is like people. Do your 10 handwritten notes a day. Even if you do 2 handwritten notes a day, it changes your life.
10 handwritten notes to who?
So you could do thank you notes to anybody. You could say, last year at is it last year or was it this year? I think it was actually this year at our regional awards gala. They had a speaker come in. His name was, he went by Mr. Thank You. I don't remember his name, but that's what he did. He just writes 10 thank you notes a day, and it changed his life. To everybody, that someone nice at the grocery store, right? Or someone he just he lives a life of gratitude. And that's really what handwritten notes do. They don't have to be thank you notes though. They can be thinking of you, happy birthday, just whatever. Hey, congratulations, I saw you.
So
You're the tallest in your planet.
If you're using the mail, you could actually use a stamp and a label that you get through the mail.
Yeah. And then if you're on social media, try social media engagement, and just the 10 likes, 5 comments, and 1 direct message. Enrichments is learning, so keep up. Just because Ignite's over doesn't mean you're gonna stop learning, but also don't get stuck learning so much that you don't take any action. There's that fine line, right? Make sure you're going on appointments and getting agreements signed, and then you're gonna have closings and make some money. So being accountable to your goals, and we're in coaching, we use Sisu, which isn't currently working, but it will be soon. it isn't working for us. So that is one good way to be accountable to your goals. So you're gonna track how many people you're talking to each day, how many people are turning into leads, how many appointments you're setting, and then we can track your and hold you guys accountable to your goals. And then also what that does is show us where you need more help. Cause you might think you need help. Like you need to do the presentation first, but I'm like, well, you're not even setting appointments with the people. So what do we gotta do to fix that? So we can see that.
So if we were to like get an appointment with somebody. I wouldn't know really what to do, so what would I bring somebody along with me?
You can, yeah, you can do that. Yep, and on YouTube, I have some videos of me presenting at appointments. You can watch those, so you'll kind of know what to do. What to look for.
Now, where are they at?
I can, they're on the YouTube from the coaching, but I can send you that. I can make sure you get it. Cause your email is full.
I know, but now you.
I'll resend you. So, holding you accountable, remind you of your big why. So we've done a lot of goal setting stuff in coaching, so make sure you're holding yourself accountable to your goals. And let me know what they are and I can help you. Accountability challenges you and makes you uncomfortable at times. It's not that fun to be told you're not making enough contacts. Right? It's not that fun to do that or to be told that, but we have to figure out if you really want this, we want to help you get it. So, and then one of the 6 personal perspectives, we talked about that in an earlier night, is to just be accountable. So there's types of accountability that your accountability partner, me, a productivity coach, you can have a mentor, you can have a KW MAPS coach. I have a MAPS coach. He holds me accountable on a very high level, and keeps me very busy. Tools, the 411, that's a goal setting tool. I'm gonna grab some of those right now. Time blocking and being accountable to your calendar. And then the one thing, have you guys heard of the one thing?
Is that what we were?
You were given a packet for the one thing in the first night of Ignite, but the one thing is really. What is your one goal and what's the one thing you could do right now that by doing it. No, I can't remember the exact question, but basically like, if you want to make $100,000, what do you need to do today to get there? You need to talk to 20 people. So that's your one thing. Let me get the 411. Okay, so it stands for 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. This says June because I forgot to delete the date when I printed it, but so you're gonna put your yearly goals at the top. Right here for job, business, personal, financial, and personal. So your job is your real estate, like how many transactions you want, how many people you need to talk to. And your business would be things like, what am I gonna do to run it like a business? Do I need systems set up in the background? Do I have presentations? Do I need to connect with the CPA? And then monthly goals. So right now we're in July. And then each week, what do I need to do to meet my monthly goal? And then this to-do list goes on for time blocking, it will go on your calendar. Okay, so you want to be learning based, so preview homes, so going to see Sean at Broker Tour tomorrow. I think he's actually hosting all of July, which I don't know, I guess it might be 3 weeks.
Meet at 9, right?
I think they meet at 9 at Youth Impact, yeah. And then they'll give you the list of homes and a lot of people just carpool around to all of them, and it's pretty fun.
I've only been to one.
Networking. So you want to preview homes to and this is just a good way to do it before super access, but once you get super access, I would go preview homes with people. We had a little group of us and we would just pick out like 5 vacant homes. We try to keep it to vacant homes since we were previewing. But you can just say, hey, I'm previewing the home. You can preview homes online by looking through the pictures and comparing them if you want to do that way. But I still think looking at the pictures and then going in the home and realizing they're not always what they're shown online.
Do you always need to contact the listing agent?
Yes, always. You'll get fined if you go in a house without a listing agent permission, and that's policed pretty well. Because a seller is gonna be upset if there wasn't. So you can schedule it through Aligned. A lot of times they're called go and shows, but you just schedule it through Aligned. and then you can go Aligned showings
How is that access?
on the MLS. So whenever there's a listing, it says schedule a showing, you can just click on that. That's what it is.
Okay. All right.
So we want to know the days on market. You want to know what new construction themes are coming up. In coaching in August. We're gonna visit a new construction site and they're gonna talk us through what it's like to sell somebody new construction. If there's any codes coming up, I know when single family or accessory dwelling units became more feasible for people to do in their backyards and the government started approving them. That was a pretty big deal. Attend events like family reunion and mega camp. And then read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent Shift and the One Thing.
What happens at the family reunion?
They're both training events, so the family reunion is a lot of Gary Keller speaking, who's the owner of the company. And the founder, and he does a lot of speaking and training on the business, what he's seeing from a bird's eye view of it. He does a lot of mindset themes. So it's a really good event. And then, and there's breakout sessions like leadership. Or if you want to specialize in something, there's little breakout sessions. So if you want to specialize in luxury, or if you want to specialize in commercial, or if you want to specialize in residential, there's little breakout masterminds for each of those. And then Mega Camp is in August this year. I think it's $700 to go. It's in Austin, Texas, and then you get that's just for the event ticket, and then you get your flight or drive down and you can get a hotel. There's lots of people going, so if you want to go to that, you can share a room with someone. For sure. And Mega Camp is where each agent, they take up a bunch of top agents and then they come share their business models with us. So, and then here's other ways you can learn. The 6 you want to keep for your mindset and accountability. Just know those 6 personal perspectives,
Which is in the book.
which
all
is
this.
in this book. Yeah, bold, costs money. I think it's coming in October, November again. We bring it here once a year, and then you can also do bold online for cheaper. I don't want to say the cost because I'm not sure,
It is bold.
but it's basically a training, and I think it's 12 weeks. And it's like last time when they came last year, it was every Monday for 12 weeks, or maybe it was every Thursday, I can't remember. For 12 weeks, and then you go in there and it's with a Keller Williams Maps coach live in person, and he's gonna tell you he's just gonna train you on basically like an intensive. How to get business. I feel like every time somebody takes bold and they follow the bold steps, they always have a transaction of it. So yeah, I feel like it always pays for itself if you're engaging and following the process. Quantum Leap was just here. Well, Gary Keller does it in Austin, I think it was in Austin, but they just had it online. That's his big event. That's a good mindset course. Command, so we learn Command, have smart finances, come to business planning clinics. They happen often in the winter, like November, December, maybe even October for the next year, for the following year. If you're looking at hiring somebody, take a career visioning course. So these ones with dollar signs are the ones that cost money. And then sales skills, there's on KW Connect, there's a lot of sales skills. Come to Conversation Mastery, come to coaching. There's just lots of skills taught. Even in connecting and networking with other agents, there's lots of skills in there. You can level up your lead generation. Those are online on KW Connect. Train the presenter, customer experience, win-win negotiations. And then diversity, equity, and inclusion. We have some pretty good resources on Keller Williams Connect, the Color Real Estate, Unconscious Bias, and Agent of Distinction are some good ones. Okay, our mission: to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. I like this because it's not, I can tell people that this is my goal, too, and they understand, like, I'm gonna give you a good experience. I'm in this for the right reasons. It's not, I don't just look at you and see dollar signs. So get real about your situation and get right about what you're doing. Bring a greater sense of clarity, priority, and focus to your work. So we've cruised through this curriculum, so hard to implement when we're going so fast through it. So try to sit down and schedule yourself out 30 minutes a day or an hour a day or an hour a week or whatever. To go back through this and implement what you've learned if you haven't been implementing along the way. So make sure you have a value proposition, your big why, your profit goal, your number of transaction goal, a smart database, smart money business, accountability, and learning. So these are the 8 goal setting categories of the millionaire real estate agent. And then, hey, any ahas?
No, so just,
I
I'm
just
not,
know I gotta do now.
You're just like, oh,
yeah,
everyone's just,
It's very overwhelmed. but it's
Yeah.
okay.
but it's really doable when we break it down.
Mhm.
Tammy said, I feel like I need to up my expectations and set higher goals for myself. Because it feels so achievable, right? When it comes down to it, when you're going to a presentation, you're just discovering what are you expecting as a real estate agent to do? Okay, I can do that.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm not gonna do that, but this is what I'll do instead. So it's just discovering and asking a lot of questions. So you can see how you can help them. So on appointments. So what do you guys feel like the first action step you each have to take is? What do you have to do tomorrow?
getting
Your
out.
business.
to the-
Can you keep?
Perfect, talking to
I'm
people,
gonna write some notes tomorrow.
some cards to people.
Yeah, that too.
Perfect.
And then figure out where I'm going to start my walk.
Where, yeah, or you're gonna go through the neighborhood out. And then start your walk. Maybe you figure out and start it.
Yeah.
Because
and I
we
can
can
get-
figure it out and not take action, right?
I can get the sun, that's wonderful, and yeah.
Well, if you go in the morning about 9, it's not too hot. People are getting it.
No, I'm okay with. But my dog is not, so I'll just leave my dog at home and do what I need to do.
The action steps online. Do the work and we'll be successful. Yep. It's really what it's about. So think of something today, right now, that you're gonna do tomorrow that's gonna move your business forward and online too, and write it down. Put it in your calendar, do something to make sure that you're doing that tomorrow and taking action immediately after you've learned it. Because if you guys have all been in this class, and if we wait too long to take action, we don't take any action.
I'm discovering that.
Well,
Okay,
I have
you
all
very
around,
much.
go back in your computer ones.
be TCPA compliant in your phone call. You guys feel,